We're currently at 21 hours, 15 minutes, 37 seconds, awaiting for sim start. We're flying Apollo 10 today in Charlie Brown, lunar module named Snoopy. Our present altitude looks to be 173.5 megameters. And we are currently in passive thermal control, about to wake the crew up. We'll go ahead and start the sim. We are on our way to the moon here. Today we're possibly thinking about performing a mid-course correction 2, or for those of you who may be a little bit new to spaceflight, in the Apollo program, they called every trajectory correction maneuver to and from the moon a mid-course correction, because going to the moon and back is technically a rendezvous. However, in the Artemis program, you'll probably hear this called, more often than not, outbound trajectory correction, OTC, and return trajectory correction, RTC. So in terms of Artemis slang here, we are on OTC 2, and that is going to be the activity for today. Lunar module basic power up and check out is going to happen. Let's take a look on what appears to be flight day 4. We will be possibly, no, actually, I stand corrected. There is no lunar module checkout. It doesn't look like any anyways, until we get to the moon. That's kind of a bit unusual. Used to, you know, some of those later missions don't really fly 10 very much. So I guess we will not be able to sneak a peek at the LEM until we actually start using it, but that's okay. I'll keep it a surprise. Thanks, I really enjoyed the intro too. Took a pretty substantial amount of time to edit it, so it's rest period end. We'll go ahead and wake up the crew. At this point in time, some music would be playing. As a long-standing NASA tradition since the Gemini program, the crew will wake up, and the first thing that they'll want to do is power on a couple of lights. Nothing too bright. It's kind of a little bit of a bright day in space today. I think just the left and the bottom light for today. Voice mode, set that to on, and everything else should be properly configured. Our first bit of housekeeping activities will be a fuel cell O2 purge at 22 hours, followed by initiating a battery charge at 22 hours, 20 minutes. So let's go ahead and skip a little time and get that stuff underway. Yeah, we're looking at a fairly bright day in space, so nothing too bright on the lights. Maybe we'll go just a little bit brighter with these lights. Starting off with a O2 purge here. This O2 purge blows a high flow, high pressure concentration of whatever gas I have selected, O2 or H2, and will clear contaminants, particulate matter, or any ice from these lines. Now, the fuel cells do have line heaters, so there shouldn't be any ice, but if there were, we would be able to clear it out this way, and that also would be a little bit cause for concern in terms of the health of the fuel cell. But contaminant matter is no concern for the health of the fuel cell. It's the priority or the primary reason why we do this procedure here. It is impossible to have a 100% pure gas, especially when you're liquefying it, because things tend to, get in that liquid and dissolve into it fairly easy. So that completes the O2 purge. We'll go ahead and in about 10 minutes here of time skipping, we will initiate the charge on battery B. Now you can charge the batteries while they're on the relay bus. Takes a little bit more time though. You can't charge them when they're connected to the main bus though. You cannot do that. There's actually an interlock that prevents you from doing that. But you could charge it while it's attached to the relay bus. However, to speed things up, the normal checklist recommends you pull that breaker. I will say that Apollo 13's checklist says for battery charge in the emergency situation to pull power from the lunar module batteries. That was a bit of a special circumstance. In which power did need to backflow through the relay bus, so that circuit breaker did need to be closed. But the batteries weren't being consumed because nothing was powered up, so. Our next activity here is giving our cryo tanks a little bit of a stir. This mixes up the regions of different densities so that we have a uniform solution. It's important for ensuring that our quantity indicator remains as accurate as possible throughout the duration of the flight. Our next procedure here will be to dump our wastewater, which serves as a coolant. And we'll precede that with a redundant environmental control system redundant systems check. So as we're heading out to the moon, we're just going to do one of these checks, give us the okay to continue, or make the decision to direct abort back to Earth. We'll go ahead and test out our other suit compressor. No alarms. We're looking good here on the gauges. Suit compressor delta pressure looks good. All right, let's give a test of the oxygen subsystem. Okay, regulator looks good. Regulator A. Regulator B looks good. And let's go ahead and get a test of our secondary cooling system. So we'll fire up the pump. We've got good discharge pressure on the pump. The accumulator level didn't drop off significantly, so we've got a good seal on the accumulator. And we'll fire up the evaporator. And we've got good steam pressure, so we're making steam. As the time rolls on, temperature in this loop will come down. And the steam pressure will fluctuate slightly as it tries to balance the temperature. And eventually, we should hit a point where it is very close to equilibrium. You could see it sort of bobbing up and down in smaller increments and faster until it settles down very nicely. We will reset. That just holds the steam pressure at that fixed value we need. Reset for 1 minute. Off and off. Verify that that pump is running down. And the secondary loop is good. Let's go ahead and get a dump on our wastewater. Let's go ahead and dump the urine tank. Constellation Urine. Oh, look at that. There's the Earth. What a beautiful view. Who's awake right now? Looks like Africa. Parts of North America would probably be awake. Small parts of Europe. Bring that wastewater down to about 20%. And we can close her up. Yeah, I love looking at Earth, especially through the optics. Wonder if we can't get a view of it coming up shortly. Doesn't look like it. Okay, well, I know how to acquire Earth. We'll find it. We'll take a good look at it. Actually, we're gonna be around the moon right now, around the site where we'd be able to see the moon. Try and acquire real quick. Spotting the moon can be a little bit tricky from this far. There she is right there. There's our target. So yeah, it looks like most of our comms situation here from Earth will be happening in the lunar shadow. Have you done Apollo 10? I like Apollo 10. When we get to the LEM stuff and you watch it, I hope that this mission sells you on 10, because the 10 doesn't land, but it does some really cool stuff in lunar orbit. Like, we're going to be higher than any other manned vehicle in a stable lunar orbit. Of course, Artemis 2 holds the record for the actual highest altitude above the lunar surface and the Earth's surface, but stable lunar orbit, we will hold the altitude, and that altitude record has never been broken. Ten is not anything like 9. 9's a beast. 9 is a beast. Let me just go ahead and brighten this control panel up a little bit. There we go. And we should be on BD roll here. Yeah, I totally understand. 10 is extremely fun. So definitely recommend. it is nothing like, it's not gonna give you the struggles that 9 gives you. I mean, shoot, my first burn on 9, I just flying it, you know, in VC, and I almost missed my burn. $90, $200, $210, $220. Okay, that terminates our passive thermal control. Unlike the Artemis program, which rotates 90 degrees every few or every set time increment, we maintain a constant roll, as that's much easier and less RCS usage. That does create a small comms issue though. But not really anything that's particularly dangerous. We're gonna go ahead and realign our IMU to our refs mat, as after this amount of time, we've most likely drifted slightly. Five balls! Look at that. That is the maximum accuracy that you can get on the system. IMU alignment complete. Let's check our backup system. Alignment is pretty good. I see no reason to align. What? What do we say, we have a peek at the Earth, shall we? Let's take a good gander at the Earth. maneuvering our spacecraft such that the optics will be pointing at the Earth. We can get a nice view of it. Get a really good, really good view of the Earth through those optics. Yep, here's our optics subsystem right here. Now pointing directly at the Earth. There we go. Still a little bit big. You know, cannot put the whole Earth in view of the sextant. Yeah, looks like North America here and South America here. Mexico, we've got the Bahamas down there, Florida over there, Texas is that little nub right there. We got Greenland and Iceland, we got Canada. And here's across the pond. And right there is the Strait of Gibraltar. Yeah, no flashing Earth would be really cool. I would totally do the P-23s then. Because that is a bit, you know, epileptic inducing, and it's not something that I want to do just in case. It's not so bad when, you know, you're looking at the Earth, but when you're out pointing towards a star and then the image flickers between not just like up and down, but it flickers between bright and dark, and that's really what'll get you. What'll get you, and I'm not gonna subject people to that. But look at that, Strait of Gibraltar. You can't really even see the strait. It's kind of covered by a cloud right now. But that's it right there. Beautiful Terminator. Weather looks very nice. There are no observable hurricanes. Small bit of rotation over the ocean, but nothing, you know, cyclonic in terms of hurricane weather. We've got a couple of clouds hanging out above North America right now. But for the most part, most of the United States and Canada have extremely clear weather. And it is May, so it's probably around a nice 75 to 80 degrees with some light cloud cover. Today looks like a beautiful day to go surfing in the Bahamas. All right. Mission Control's gonna have a message for us soon on the feasibility of a outbound trajectory correction. He meant what he said earlier made 0 sense. So he probably deleted it. Okay, mid-course correction 2 will be required, and it will be performed on the service propulsion system. A burn time of 6 seconds. So a little bit steep. A little bit steep of a burn, but we'll take it. Mission Control is going to get us a state vector update and an uplink of the burn parameters to our computer for us, so that we don't have to type them when we start program 30. Yeah, that does not make any sense. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all. Uplink complete. Why are people strange? I don't know. This is also not the place to talk about that. Alright, we kind of do this to not deal with, you know, life, I guess. Battery charger off. Bat relay bus, bat B close. DC select main A. And our battery compartment has no flammable quantity of hydrogen gas, so no reason to purge. Vert 37, enter, 30, enter. (26, 32, 5708, 5707, that's good enough. Little rounding from the AGC, that's perfectly fine. Minus 28, plus 11.3, and minus 27.7. That is perfectly acceptable. Orbit parameters after the burn. We will not particularly care about that since it's an Earth reference at the moment. But a required delta V of 41 feet per second. Very good. Mark. Proceed. 00. Enter. And we will be performing this burn on the service propulsion system, so we will proceed to begin those checks, starting with the caution and warning system. Each light is on. Left light is good. Right bank, each light is on. Right light is on. Very good. CW. Good. And good. Right. Service propulsion system temperature looks good. We've been, you know, cooking it in the sun for a little bit, so no reason to use those heaters at all. Delta V test now. Okay, accelerometer looks good. Let's go ahead and test our cutoff. Cut off. Okay, that looks good. So EMS is functional for this burn. Compensated delta V, 36.8 feet per second is our compensated delta V. All right, let's get the DAP set up. We will need 16 jets for the burn. 21102. Zero 1111 looks good. Proceed. Our current spacecraft weight is 63666. Proceed. Angles for trim. Plus 00091 and minus 00020. Proceed. Verb 46, enter. We are all good there. Due to the closeness of the burn to our present time, we unfortunately will be late for the sextant star check, but we will still be on time for the burn. We'll go ahead and make our maneuver. And while that maneuver is being made, I'm going to go ahead and take a time out to use the restroom real quick. Hey, how's it going? How's it going, James? I just got back. And it looks like we're in a good burn attitude. Okay. Thanks, computer. Sextant star is 02, so plus 20840. Enter. Plus 10600. Enter. And we should be pointing at star 02. Yep, star 02. Okay. And then we did get a boresight star, which is star 11, currently occluded by the lunar module. Go figure. Bring us down to that 10-minute mark. Line heaters are off. We never turn them on. Program 40. Rate 2, CMC auto. Proceed. Have that computer perform the final trim here. Close our circuit breakers. Attitude deadband minimum. Rate low. Limit cycle on. Rate 2. Direct off. Rate command. Auto. Okay, bring us down to 6 minutes. T-minus 6 minutes. Battery ties on. TVC servos 1 and 2 on. Translational control power on. And we will do AC only so that we don't fire our jets when we do the gimbal drive test. Trim for this burn is 90, or excuse me, plus 0.9 and minus 0.2. T-minus 5 minutes. Let's start the gimbal motor 1 and pitch 1 and yaw 1. Recenter the gimbal trims here. Clockwise. Verify no manual thrust vector control. That is verified. Pitch 2 start. Yaw 2 start. Trim check. Minus 1, plus 1, 0. Minus 1, plus 1, 0. Load the trim. Okay, manual thrust vector control check. Pitch up, center, pitch down, center, yaw left, center, yaw right, center. And just so you can see that from the outside, because it's pretty cool, you can catch just a glimpse of it here with the engine moving. There you go. We'll take back control of RCS. Attitude 1, rate 2. Enter. And proceed. The computer will do its own gimbal test of the engine. Alright, looking good. Direct power on. Limit cycle off. 50-15. T-minus 3 minutes. Let's bring that down to T-minus 2 minutes. T-minus 2 minutes. Bank A is armed. T-minus 1 minute and 35 seconds of the burn. This is just going to be a really, really small burn. Very, very small outbound trajectory correction. Bringing our path close to the moon. T-minus 55 seconds mark. Stand by for average G. Average G mode is on. 30 seconds. EMS is on. Fifteen, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, verb 99, proceed, 2, 1, ignition, 1, 2, bank B, 2, 1, shutdown. Okay. Gimbal motors off. DVC servos off. Main battery ties off. Good burn. Proceed. Wow, the residuals. Holy smokes. No residuals. That burn was executed flawlessly. I have never seen residuals so good in my life. Yeah. That was crazy impressive. Get the charge on battery B again. Go narrow beam width. an extra bacon square for that. Unfortunately, no bacon squares in our flight plan. And no extra food either. We spent all that weight on a rake. Yeah, I spent all that weight on a rake. Not really. We're not landing on the moon, so we wouldn't need a rake, but if anyone gets that joke, then hats off to them. And herein starts PTC. RCS quads are very, very well balanced, so we will just maintain the current setting on that, which is a BD roll. Okay, let's take a look. Charlie is higher than Delta. Bravo is, I think, slightly lower than Delta. So, and Charlie is lower than Alpha, so we'll go Bravo, Charlie for our fuel adjacent quads. Start the clock. We're just holding present attitude with a couple of our jets disabled so that we stabilize, and we want to hold this for at least 20 minutes. That'll get us pretty good and stable, so you'll, as time goes on, as we get through this, you'll hear less RCS puffs, and at about 20 minutes we shouldn't hear any for, you know, at least a couple of seconds. Okay, very close to our PTC start time here. We'll enter in our little erasable memory program on the computer. We'll do a couple of housekeeping procedures for closeout, and that will complete today's flight day. 20 minutes. Pitch and yaw to Excel command. Enable all jets. If you could have one piece from the CM, any switch or dial or indicator, but only one, which one would be the best? Well, flight director attitude indicator counts as an indicator. That's the one that I would pick because it's the most complex assembly. You know, I've got a couple of these chart recorders sitting at home. I can turn one into an EMS. We've got the 3D printed wireless AGC that can work with NASP and reentry. I've got a crap load of these gauges lying around. You know, annunciator panel would be pretty cool too, because this is another custom one that you're not going to find anywhere. But in terms of the best piece for building a simulator, it's going to be this. Mechanical ball all the way. We'll set our hold flag here by writing 0 into address 1332. Into address 3125, we will input 12 and 35400. Again, into address 3175, we will input 2 and 27303. And we will remove the hold flag by writing a 70,000 into 1332, and as soon as we hit enter, there's a roll. Another piece of specialized hardware you're not going to find anywhere is this gauge right here. Nothing quite like that. And nothing quite like this. This will be easy. These will be easy. Hell, even these will be easy. It's this and this that I can't find anywhere. And that's what I want. I mean, that, and you don't even need to build a simulator to have a good time with the FDAI. Like, you could have that thing chill on your desk, and that's going to be such a cool desk ornament while you're flying. 100%. It's going to be the 8-ball all the way. Alright, switch to our 30-degree deadband. Writing 5252 into address 3255. And clear out the diski. ETC roll looks good. Slight deviation, but nothing too extreme. Curious Mark does have one, yep. Lunar module one, if I remember correctly. And actually, it was repurposed as a shuttle simulator equipment. Circuit breaker, O2 vacuum ion pumps. We are rolling right, so we'll get high gain antenna on plus 40. And 270. Okay, acquisition acquired. And there we go, we got her on the high gain, and that's the one issue with the high gain. It likes to tweak out. Look at us. To quote one of the Apollo astronauts, it's like being in one of those rotating restaurants. Just a couple of hours of light time skipping will give a stir of our cryo tanks again. We will configure for our rest. We'll get a small state vector update, lunar flyby pad. At that point, it is swifter to go around the moon in the event of an abort than to turn around and fly back home. And we'll close out with another O2 purge, and we'll dump our wastewater. That's going to close us out for day 2, and we'll end the stream there. So, like I said, fairly uneventful flight day, but I hope you all still enjoyed anyways. Well, we had a mid-course correction burn. It was actually a fairly substantially long burn, too. So, there was a little bit of excitement, and I saw viewership hop up there right as we started the engines, and as soon as we got shut down, whoop, we're right back down. Funny how that works. There's the moon. Classic. Yeah, well, you know, when we get around the moon, I think people are going to enjoy that, especially when we start the LEM activities. Oh, man, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Apollo 10 has got the most beautiful shots of the moon. Like, absolutely tremendous shots of the moon. All right, one more hour, and we'll start heading to sleep. All right, taking us back to real time. Look at that. Beautiful shot of the Earth. Okay, we got work to do. Stir up our cryos. What did I think about the Artemis splashdown with all the rafts and wasted time? What do you mean wasted time? That was way faster than anything Apollo era had. Yeah, every single mission has a flotation collar and a raft out the front of the craft. That's the standard procedure. That's how it has been and it was always done since the days of Gemini. So I don't think they wasted time. I mean, sure, it would have been faster if they just tugged the flippin' spacecraft up the little ramp in the back of the boat, but, you know, with people in it, I think they just wanted to get the people out. Oh, small bit of an overshoot. There we go. All right, we will not be burning the flyby pad. Why didn't they just land the spacecraft in the Smithsonian Museum already? Are they stupid? Yeah, see, now that would have really saved time, huh? Could have saved a couple of $1,000 on transporting that thing. Oh shit. Whoops. God damn it, the amount of times I've done that. Verb 21, noun 01, enter, 3255, enter, 5252, enter. The amount of fucking times that I have accidentally done that is ridiculous. Okay, that's good. All right, initializing our fuel cell O2 purge now. Was there ever a flight plan for Apollo 18? Yeah, actually. Fairly certain. There were, you know, more than just concepts of a plan. All right. That is the last of our sleep period procedures. And with that, Apollo 10 is going to close out, and we're going to, hold on, we're going to restart the PTC again. A little stabilized here. Yeah, this mistake is kind of a costly mistake to make. Yeah, there we go. All right, and with that, Apollo 10 wishes everyone a good day or evening, and we're gonna close out. I'll see you all around. We're going to bed. See you all next time.